Welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie podcast, where nightmares meet the light, shadows entwine. Tonight we dive deep into the horror scene, with Rod and Ricky in the asylum, Amy living the dream. Hear the howl of the night echo in your mind, where the rebels of fright, leaving no soul behind. Movers and shakers, we've got the scoop. Filmmakers and actors, they're part of our group. Indie horror lovers, gather all around, bringing the edge, where true tales are found. With every wound that bleeds, a story to tell. Join us, laugh, where the haunted begins.
Good evening, junkies, and welcome to another episode of the Indie Horror Junkie podcast, episode 113, you guys. And yeah, we got a show lined up for you. We have the creatives behind the upcoming horror feature film, the Pitchfork Retreat. So they're hanging out in the green room. We're going to bring them out here soon. But first, we're going to get started with some Indie Horror Junkie news. What do you say, Running Ricky?
Let's do it.
Roll it out. We've got our Indie Horror Junkie Film Festival at MegaCon happening, you guys. Submissions are officially closed, but that's going to be happening on March 19th at MegaCon Orlando, and we are going to be announcing those official selections on January 31st. So thank you to all of the indie horror creatives who send in your shorts and your features. You have made our jobs very difficult this year as usual, but our judges are hard at work checking out the film, so stay tuned for more of that. We have issue number 21 of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine now available. The cover story is featuring the Shudder original feature film, Mother of Flies, brought to you by the Addams Family. You guys, if you're not following this amazing family on socials, please do yourself a favor because they are producing some incredible horror films. They are on the rise, so show them some love and check them out. And if you haven't yet, head over to indiehorrorjunkie.com and grab your physical and digital copy. And we're working on the next two issues, you guys. They're back-to-back, February and March. So if you have a project that you're working on, if you want to advertise with us, hit us up at indiehorrorjunkie@gmail.com. February is our special Friday the 13th issue, and March is going to be our 3-year anniversary. How did I say that? 3-year anniversary.
You were pretty close.
So 3 years of the Junkies, you guys, and we are covering some of the coolest stuff that is on the scene right now, everything underground for independent horror. So thank you for supporting us. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years, but here we are, still going. We want to give a shout out, as usual, to Tarot Cards. Definitely check them out, you guys. These are our friends, big supporters, free virtual horror film cards at tarotcards.com. You can download on Google Play and also available on the Apple Store. And right now we are partnered up with them to trade some magazine covers. So definitely check them out. And what else you got, Rick? We got The Clock streaming.
Available for streaming pretty much everywhere. It's also available on special edition Blu-ray. It's got some audio commentary and a behind-the-scenes featurette, so definitely check it out. That's our first Indie Horror Junkie feature film, and real excited about that one. And I think that's about it.
Yeah, and if you like what we're doing, just head over to YouTube, like, subscribe, support the Junkies, help to keep us going. And without further ado, the Pitchfork Retreat, we're going to show a teaser trailer and then bring on some people that you're going to want to see and talk to. So let's check that out.
Here we go.
This is where you will all be staying while you're with us. An important facet of our retreat is that we are removed from the distractions of the outside world. We want you fully engaged with this competition. We are all very happy to have you here.
Welcome to my retreat.
All right. Welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie podcast, you guys. There's so many of you here tonight. I'm just going to run through really quick and make a quick introduction, hopefully not kill anybody's last name. Writer, director, producer, and actor Gregory Van Voorhis. Am I saying your last name right?
You got it, actually.
All right, cool. We have director, producer, actress Nicole Van Voorhis, little brother sister duo in the house, loving that. Producer, actor Michael Levy, actress Danielle Harris in the house, you guys, give it up. Actor Lucas Hassel, actor Joseph D. Reitman, and editor William Naraki III. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
I'm call you Billy tonight.
Call me
I feel
Billy.
Like
That's
the name 100 times.
yeah.
I'm scared on promoting that, but we've got some fans on tonight already checking the show out for you guys. So if you have any questions or comments, definitely put them in the chat. We got everybody here who wants to hang out and just talk everything indie horror and talk about the Pitchfork Retreat. Loving that teaser trailer. Rick and I had the pleasure of checking this film out last night. We want to talk about everything and we can't. So we're going to kind of just talk, as much as we can and give everybody a little bit of insight to this amazing film that you guys did. I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Greg. You're the writer of this project. Can you explain the premise of the film to the audience without giving too much away?
Yes, and it's definitely the kind of film I wouldn't want to give too much away for. It's a slow burn, but it's three people who arrive to a secluded island for what they think is this huge competition that can change their lives. And little do they know, as time goes on while they're at the retreat, that once that darkness from within comes to light, they realize that there's a lot more at stake than just a prize while they're there.
Well said. And this film is very dark and twisted. Where I got to know where this idea came from for you, Greg, because like I said, when I met you, you're like the nicest, sweetest, sweater over the head.
Then I'm a great actor, huh?
And then I watched this and I'm like, should I check on my friend? Like, what's going on in this head of it? So what inspired this kind of horror for you specifically?
Sure, absolutely. So really good. I started writing this in 2014, and along the way, I started making great friends with Tony Todd, who he fell in love with that character from the jump. And I'd also I want to shout out Lucas here, because Lucas joined us very early, and he is the greatest writer I've ever met in any genre. And I don't lie. Those of you who know me know I don't lie. But he is brilliant. And Lucas really was a great script doctor. And he worked with me and sat with a lot. And really, what I loved about him was he just asked the right questions that made me get what I wanted to get. The script wouldn't be what it is if it weren't for his help. So I really want to shout him out for that. And I mean, really, this was a collaborative project. Every box and face that you see here was instrumental in creating what we have. And I can go on and on and on about what everybody did, even the people you don't see. So while yes, it was birthed in my mind, everybody helped make that happen. So I'm just grateful for everybody.
And Nicole, you play Mandy in the film, but you're also one of the producers. You're co-director. What is it like balancing so many of those roles on this film? Because those are all real big jobs.
Well, I thank you. I think what it was very working with Greg. It's the brother sister, as you were saying. It's such a nice. it's a gift really to be able to work in that environment, because you have your, we're working on this together, and there's this built-in trust I've known in my whole life. And so when we pitch ideas, or we agree, we disagree, it always remains in a place of honesty and respect. And so it's an easy environment. It's an energy that you can absolutely work in, because I know that wherever we're coming from, we'll meet somewhere where it's going to strengthen the script, the character, the plot, anything, because of that relationship we have. So,
and I'll say, working with Nikki was incredible. She was always my first call, right? If I ever had even the seed of an idea, whether it's 2 a.m., 12 in the afternoon, I'm like, Nikki, do you have a minute? We jump on, and she was just my sounding board, and she always had the greatest ideas, and took scenes to the next level. There are some of the best scenes in the world in this film that were bred from those conversations, and Nikki's so, Nikki, thank you. You were awesome. Awesome sister, but just awesome collaborator, so I appreciate it.
Was this the first project at this level that you guys worked together in this capacity, collaborating on?
At this level, yes, but we're Double V Films, not just because we're Van Boris, but because there's two of us, right? So this has just been, we were storytellers to our parents even from when we were young, just making up how certain things got broken or whatever it was, and just forever we've been working together. So whether it was shorts or a web series, she had a web series that she wrote. It's just been beautiful being able to work with her. It's special. It was a big family project for us, and it all stemmed right there from brother, sister, good luck.
And you guys started off with this as a short film.
It was always intended to be a feature.
Correct?
Yeah, it was always intended to be a feature, and the idea was to shoot Split Second, which was a portion of the film, sort of as a proof of concept, but knowing that ultimately it was going to land as is in the film itself. It can survive alone, but really it belongs here. So yes, I think it was a really successful short. We did the festival route, and it got some attention, and it got some eyes on it, and it allowed us to build our family. And Daniela's here. I think had it not been for Split Second, and Joseph, had it not been for Split Second, I don't know if we have lucked out in having them jump aboard. And Mike Levy was instrumental in helping create Split Second and taking Split Second and making it the Pitchfork Retreat. Fuzz on the Lens. I don't even need to say any more than Fuzz on the Lens, right? They are they're the masters of horror right now, and just to be able to team up with these guys, they're brilliant, and it's just been a pleasure. So
I'm going to get to Mike there in just a second, but first I want to get to our actors, Danielle, Lucas, and Joseph. What made you guys want to come on board for this project? Was it the story? Was it the characters? Was it the people? I know that you guys, some of you have worked together on previous projects before, but what was that main drive and inspiration for each of you? Danielle, let's go ahead and start with you first on that.
D. Wallace.
Yeah.
So I was at a convention, and making indie horror, you never know what's real and not real, and who's really financed and going to really make a movie and who's not. And we all kind of lean on one another in a little circle to call and say, hey, do you know this person? They're saying that they're doing this or they're doing that, or, hey, I'm doing this movie. Let me get your number. I would love to suggest you for blah, blah, blah. So we all were a nice, tight little knit community. And I was at a show, and Dee came up to me and said, I just did this part in this movie with this family that are so wonderful and amazing and lovely, and they have no money, and they would love for you to come to the East Coast and do this part. And I was like, let me see it. Sure, let me check it out. And I got it and read it and said for sure. And I don't think I knew that Mike was involved until I got there, I feel like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know. And then I got on set, and I was like, oh my God, because we had, Fuzz on the Lens. I did stream with them. So I already had, obviously, they're my buddies anyway, and got to set and was like, oh my God, it's the family. And then created this awesome relationship with everybody, and got to play an adult for the first time in a minute. I'm usually not playing an adult. I'm playing an adult, but under different circumstances. So I'm just now kind of getting into the mother, doctor, professional, those meaty, juicy roles that are more age appropriate for me now than before.
I loved you in this role specifically. I felt like it was different than what we've seen you do. And in Stream, you were the mom role there, but this was more specific. This allowed you to be a little bit more gritty, which I really liked. So you play Dr. Is it Lilith or Lilith?
Lilith.
For you, how different was this role from others that you've played and getting into that?
I think, having a podcast, I've been pretending to be a therapist now for almost 4 years with all the fans that write in when their questions and stuff. So I had a little bit of a taste of that. And I was actually saying when we were in the New York City Horror Film Festival, I was saying in front of everybody that if I wasn't an actor, I'd wanted to go to school and major in psychology. So my dream was to have been a therapist if I had not been an actress. Acting at that time was really the thing for me that was keeping me busy. So I didn't get to go to school. So this was my first chance at kind of stepping into those shoes for a minute and getting to play around.
I'm excited for everyone to get to see you in that role. It was really, really fun to watch. Now, Lucas, you played Matthew. What drew you to this character?
Well, I'm usually the bad guy in a lot of these films. So again, kind of like Danielle, it was nice to sort of play like a husband, a good sort of child-loving husband with a lovely wife, and then it takes a sharp left turn from there. But when we did the Split Second, the original short of that, I met with Gregory and I met with Nicole, and in this business, it's tough to not sometimes get into situations where you work with egos and a-holes and attitude and craziness and stressful sets. And so the vibe I got off these two straight away was sort of kindness and hard work and ambition. And I just like that energy. I love people who are trying to make it happen for themselves in a smart way. And the script of Split Second, we worked on it together. I loved how collaborative they are. It's one of those things that when you do, say, network TV is not collaborative at all. It's good money and it's exposure, but you hit your marks and you speak your lines. But in indie films, you sometimes come across situations where you can actually sit down and talk about your character and talk about the arcs of where people are going and what the tone of everything is. And that's what I love about independent filmmaking. So Nicole and Gregory were perfect collaborators, and I'm so proud of how this film came out. Everybody, Danielle, Joe, everybody else in it is fantastic. Nicole acting as well, it's fantastic. So I'm grateful to be part of it.
And Joseph, you played Nikolai. How did you get involved with the film, and what excited you most about this role for you?
Greg found some illicit footage of me and blackmailed me. No.
Great footage.
Great footage. It's a little bit of a weird story. I think I was dating this girl, and I believe, if I'm right, tell me if I'm right, Gregory. She posted a picture of me on Instagram, and Gregory knew her, right? They were friends, and Gregory, is it fair for me to say that you told her that you were a fan of mine?
That's exactly correct.
Those are the words that I heard, and that you really wanted to talk to me, and that was kind of like how it started. And then and she goes, "Do you mind if my friend talks to you?" And I said, "No, I don't mind at all." And we got on the phone, and Greg, like literally what Lucas just said, and everyone else has said, is like, just a really nice guy. And Nicole's super sweet, and the conversation was and clearly smart, and had a good idea. And I said what I tell anybody when we get that far, and I kind of like sit there and I go, please feel free to send me some tape and send me the script. And that's what I said, and he did. And I thought the short was excellent. And I was like, that's a really good short. And I said, and I read the script, and he wrote the part for me, which was super flattering. And then I felt trapped. No. But I thought he wrote a great part for me. Like Lucas, it's not a part that, it's a part that I get to play some of these parts, like they're similar to this, but the multi-levels of kind of playing two characters inside of it, and really digging just digging into it and kind of getting to work with Tony Todd and the other people involved in this thing, for me, at the end of the day, it was a no-brainer to say yes, and we had a long talk about it, and collaborative, which was also a big part of it, like Lucas said too. We know it's not a big budget thing, and if everyone's willing to work together and kind of like make the best product possible, it was an exciting prospect to be involved in, and I'm just really glad that I said yes.
And I'm going to touch on something. I am a huge fan, Joe, and your character had not been written, and that was the missing piece to completing this script. And I saw that picture. I always wanted to work with you. I think you're just amazingly talented, and I just love what you do. And I said, literally just knowing your work, I said, I want to write a character that he's played before to some degree, but I know there's something, like, just look at those eyes, right? So I wanted to write something for him that he could sink his teeth into, and I think he did a masterful job portraying that character. And we talked about, Joe was talking about how he plays sort of two characters. Yeah, there's of his character in this film, and I think that speaks to everybody. I think there are layers to everybody, and you peel back those onions, and I think that's what this film is about. Who do we portray, and who are we inside, and what do we deny to ourselves about who we really are, in fact, right? So I think that's something that I'm hoping every character, there were two of everybody in this. Yeah. And I hope that, our amazing talent was able to enjoy peeling back those layers to show who they truly are.
And I would say that's the thing. I mean, because without giving anything away, the fact that you get to kind of like play this duality, everyone gets to play this duality, was really appealing to me for sure. And exciting to kind of explore. And I think Gregory did a masterful job of kind of like getting a sense of who I was, and also giving me freedom on set to kind of explore other things too. And I just think he did a great job. I think everybody did a great job.
I think a lot of respect goes back to you, Greg, as the writer, because it's an actor's dream to be able to have a role to show range. Because actors, they're not one-dimensional, and the level of actors that you're working with, they have experience, they're trained. So to be able to really dig into something and show these different parts of you in one film, but have that range of showcase, gives the actors an opportunity. But I think that does make it so much more enjoyable for them.
I want to say real quick, based on the script part you talked about earlier, Gregory, I think there's stuff in this script that I hadn't quite seen before, sort of seeing a story one way and then sort of revisiting it in a different way. I'm not giving too much away here, but I think that was really unique, and that was something I hadn't quite seen before. And as an actor or as a creator in any shape or form, when you get across scripts where you experience something you haven't quite seen before, that's gold.
Yeah.
And I'd like to shout out Billy here.
Yes.
Billy is our editor and also post-production supervisor, but I think Billy, I think he's the best editor I've ever met, but he did such an incredible job. For those of you who get to see the film eventually, once you get into Act 3 of the film, the whole film is edited beautifully. But I think Billy's a genius, and I think he did an amazing job of creating exactly what everybody's talking about.
100%.
Very excited for people to see Billy's work. Not just in this film, but in everything he's done and everything he's going to do. But I'm a big fan of his work, and I just want to thank him and shout him out.
Thank you, Greg.
I mean, as anyone who makes films knows, there's 3 films that you make, right? There's the film that you write, there's the film that you shoot, and the film that you edit. Yes. And I knew the first 2 because I was involved in the first 2, and when Billy handed in what he handed in, I was blown away by what he handed in, like blown away.
Yep. I was sitting next to Joe at the opening night of it, and at the festival, and I looked at him. I said, "I hope I did you justice with your character."
You did everyone justice, man. You did the film justice. I love you, bro. Awesome.
And I am going to circle back around to you, Billy, because I agree with everybody here. And when Greg today, we were messaging, he's like, "Can my editor come on?" I'm like, "Absolutely," because what I just watched blew my mind, and he needs to be on here to talk about it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we have so many creatives and filmmakers that are, from level of what you guys are doing that are watching right now to people starting out, and for them to be able to watch your work and dissect it, because we all probably do the same thing. We watch the movie to enjoy it, but we also watch it from different perspectives. We're watching the acting, we're watching the directing, we're watching everything in different parts and pieces, because that's what we do. But yeah, outstanding job on the editing, Billy. I absolutely agree with all that. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
We got Mike Levy down there in the corner looking kind of low.
Mikey.
Pop over to him.
Somebody chimed in over here from Mike.
I haven't heard Mike not.
Oh, Jay. There you go. So, Mike, as you all know, you're just widely known for being one of the top producers in independent horror. Your company, Fuzz and Lens, has produced the Terrifier franchise. Stream, you worked on Screamboat. So tell everybody how you got sucked into this project.
Pretty much like everyone else, Greg and Nicole I think they're witch doctors, and they kind of put everyone in this trance, and then all of a sudden you'll just do anything and everything for them. Now, we met, I think, if I'm correct, at the New York Horror Film Festival many, many years ago, for the first film that I directed called Abnormal. Oh, did that go out? Was that me?
Yep.
Are you guys there?
You're back.
Do you see me?
Yeah.
Do you see that ghost behind you?
It was wild. Jason hacked my computer. Called Abnormal Attraction. We did with Malcolm McDowell and Gilbert Gottfried, Tyler Main, Leslie Easterbrook. And I think it was there you guys really enjoyed the film. I especially remember Nicole coming up about the movie and really liking Jason's character of Finbar. And we just kind of started talking movies, and we started talking shop, and we realized we had a lot, in common. And we just immediately connected. Obviously got to meet their family. They have a wonderful family. And we just kept in touch over the years. And Greg was always talking about Pitchfork for a long time. I remember about this being his baby and wanting to do it, and asked if we, get involved. And I saw his passion. It's very similar to my own passion. And obviously he works with his sister. I work with my brother. So there was a lot of similarities there. So for me, it was a no-brainer. When you meet good people, you want to keep them around and do whatever you can for them.
It was, we are very much simpatico, man. I really enjoy working with you. Again, I keep using the word brilliant, but I'm surrounded by these brilliant people. And I think you have to be smart enough to be the dumbest person in the room sometimes. And that's how I felt often. And Mike, I really appreciate you taking us under your wing with this, and I really I've learned a lot from you and everybody else, every other box of faces we see here. But
well, listen, I'm just happy and proud to be a part of it and to see it all come together that night for the festival run there. And I know we're going to keep praising Billy. I will too. He is one of the best editors, but I think we got to bring him down a notch, because as a producer, that means his rate's going to keep going up. That rate down. So I think he could be a little better in some spots. I think everybody did great, and I was really, really pleased, and I can't wait for everybody to see the film. It was really exciting also to do something a little different. We've done a lot of horror comedy stuff, a lot of really gruesome, bloody, gory horror, obviously with Terrifier and Stream stuff, even Screamboat to an extent. So to do something that was a little more psychological thriller, it was more of a slow burn, that was something I was excited to get into and do something, on the flip side of the horror genre. So I'm really proud to be a part of this project.
This is for Greg, Nicole, and Mike. This film, as we all know, features an incredible lineup of horror icons. In addition to the amazing cast and crew that we have here tonight, what is it like working with such an all-star cast? Just name a few: Tony Todd, Dee Wallace, Terry Kaiser. What is that like on set? What is it like working with this family of people that you brought in?
No one beats Danielle Harris, I'll tell you that. So second time around, of course, gotta give. No, obviously Danielle's a great friend. Love working with Danielle. For me, thankfully everyone that we've worked with hasn't been an asshole. Everyone's been really, really good, and I think that
you've gotten to work with them several times, Mike, here and Stream.
Yeah, so if they keep coming back, that means I think it's good people all around. Yeah. So, but like Danielle said, they have the horror community is very small, and everyone talks, and everyone kind of checks in on shows. So the good people, kind of come through, and they're they're just incredibly talented, wonderful people to work with. Just to get to watch like Danielle or Tony or Dee or I don't want to Joe, Lucas, you know, everybody across the board, not just the horror icons, kind of get to work really was awesome to be a part of and witness live for me.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a fan of everybody we were able to work with, and you know, over the course of working with them, we've become friends, and it's a beautiful transition. And I'm really appreciative that everybody believed in us enough to give us a chance to work with us, you know, and it's just been a beautiful experience and journey. So it's special. It's really special. And again, not just Danielle, although working with Danielle has been a lifelong dream, you know, and Lucas and Joe, just everybody. I think I'd love to say that we see everybody in something they haven't done before, or we see some of the best work we've seen anybody do in this film, and it's been a really great collaboration.
And it's really incredible that it extends past the filming. You know, it's really like Greg was saying, we're friends, and it's you know, it's great to have an experience where you're working with artists who are passionate, but at the end of the day, when you're done filming, you may not have that connection anymore. But that has been the complete opposite here. So we've maintained a connection, we've built friendships, and you know, future projects. So I think that was a beautiful gift to have. It not just the Pitchfork Retreat, but the bonds that we've built. So that's something I'm super grateful for.
And I would love to specifically talk about Tony Todd, if we can take a moment, right? I sort of connect this to like students, and by the way, I'm a teacher, so I've got some students I think in this audience right now. But when we think about applying to colleges, you have your dream college, you've got your goal, and then you've got your safety college. So in a way, it's kind of sounds silly, but I always had like my dream cast list. And what's amazing is, you know, I have people in this film that were in my dream cast, right? Including people that are here today. But Tony Todd, it was an absolute dream to even be able to reach out to him, right? And for him to want to be a part of this and to fall in love with the character that we created was amazing. And we became very fast friends. He came to my school, as did actually Danielle and Lucas and Joe. He came to my school. He invited my students to do a red carpet premiere of one of his films. He's done workshops with us. And we just became super close so quickly, just talking about literature and plays. And I went to go see him in Fences. And, you know, to be able to say that he was a part of this is special. You know, one of my biggest regrets is that he wasn't able to see it, you know, so that kills me. But, you know, you talked about having such amazing horror icons, to not talk about Tony, you know, who's no longer with us. I mean, he was just an amazing friend, and he was battling sickness while on set, you know, and he wouldn't let too many people go, you know, and nobody would have known.
Mm-hmm.
But I can I add to that real quick and say,
Please.
I actually texted with him a good 2-3 weeks before he passed, and we actually texted about the movie, and I mentioned to him how amazing he was in it. And so I feel, in a way, through you, Gregory, I sort of extended what you feel about his performance in this. And it's just thinking back on working with him, you know, sometimes you have actors on set who just, you can tell that there's something special about them, but like in the room, you're so focused on your own thing and what's going on around you. And then you see the final product and you see that extra magic of like, you know, talent dust that comes out, where it's sort of stuff that you may have missed in the shooting of it, but suddenly it's there on the screen. And it was incredible to see how he possessed both, essentially, just that special skill of transporting himself onto screen. What a presence.
But on top of that, if I can add to that, because it's just one of those things. I mean, I've done a number of low budget movies with famous people who just didn't care what they were doing. Like, you know, who would be on set, and all the actors here, I'm sure, have been on set with somebody who's just collecting a paycheck and just didn't care. Might not have even read the script, know their lines, do what they're supposed to do. Tony cared so much about every scene and every moment that he had in the film to make it work the best way that he could, even in the condition that he was in. it was such a lesson for me to remember that, like when he did that, I just, I couldn't have been more grateful to have those scenes to work with him, honestly.
I think if you're a Tony Todd fan and you have the opportunity to watch this, you're instantly going to fall in love all over again. Most of us have probably, I mean, my gateway to horror was Candyman. That was one of the first horror films I watched with my dad, and I got to watch it over and over again because I just loved it. But seeing him in this, and you're right, he had such a grounded performance. It was very direct. It was very captivating. Like, you did not want to take your eyes off of him. He took control of that room and control of the situation. But all of you guys did. And I'm not just saying that, like, this was a really amazing cast telling in a really amazing story. And I don't really think there's another project like this in the horror genre that's circulating right now. It's very, very different. Wow. And like Mike said, this is different for you. When I was watching this, I was like, I'm excited for Fuzz. Like, this is something I haven't seen them do, and I like the direction this is going in. I think you guys have something really special here, and as excited as you are about it, know that we are too, because we got to watch it, and we can't wait for everyone else to get to see this. I really think it's something very, very special. And I love how important it is for you guys to really build the connection between the cast and crew. It shows. I think that in a way inspires everybody who's on set to continue to do something, whether it's if I'm an actor and I want to stay an actor, or maybe just you inspired somebody to tell a different story and make that together. But whatever it is, I think you guys nailed it. There was a lot of tension that happened throughout this film. And, this is kind of for everybody. How did you approach building that tension through the characters? Because it's also very character driven and not just the scares.
Danielle, why don't you
dive in? Yeah, let's start with you, Danielle.
I was going to say that Greg probably locked everybody up somewhere and wouldn't allow them to have sex for months before, and then shoved them out there, and just, you guys went after each other. I was actually wondering, I had a question. Has anyone actually been to a writer's retreat or any kind of retreat in real life that they pulled any kind of kookiness, weirdness, all that stuff kind of is a little bit out there for me. I'm super interested in doing one of those this year, maybe without hallucinogenics. I haven't decided about that yet. But I'm curious to see if you guys did any of that stuff or are now never going to after you wrote this movie.
Well, I mentor at Cinestory Writers Retreat up in Idlewild outside of Palm Springs, up in the mountains. I came there originally as a contestant, as a writer, whatever, and then I won it one year, and I've been a mentor ever since. And I highly recommend it. It's one of those things that I tell people about all the time. I think it's the biggest thing that moved the needle in terms of my writing. Mm-hmm. They don't send you out on boats and in the middle of the lake and middle of the night, stuff like that, but there are definitely exercises, and it will definitely improve anyone's writing, even as skilled as people may be. It 100% I can recommend it. Just saying. I'll let you know the details, Danielle. I'll send it to you.
Is there as much competition and ego as some of these traits that these characters had? Different, huh?
No. This is the part of that I love about Cinestory, and this is not going to be about Cinestory overall, but I'm just telling you, since you mentioned it, that it's really about leaving egos at the door, and it's about just coming up there with an open mind, open spirit. Don't come there trying to look for a manager and agents, although they are there as mentors as well. It's really about coming up there and improving your writing, and so receiving that as honestly as you can.
Yeah, every writing group that I've belonged to, or I have groups that I work with, but I've done a couple of retreats. It is usually a very collaborative experience, and like Luke is saying, like leaving your ego at the door and kind of like just taking what works for you and letting stuff go and working with other people. It gives you new ideas. It's like a good acting class. It's the same idea. But what makes this movie interesting is that how desperate these three people are, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's what's different about the writers here.
Right.
Speaking of retreat, let's kind of talk about the location. This was a really beautiful location that you guys had. How did you find it, and how did that influence the story? Were you able to find the location and then write to that and adapt these characters and what's happening in the story to that, or did you just get lucky and find what you wanted on the back end of it?
Super question. So I think many locations did lend itself to affecting the story, but in terms of our main location, the retreat, I had a vision in my head, and when we happened on this location, it just occurred. It was
Just lean in a little bit, Greg. I think we're losing you in the mic. Just lean forward.
Oh,
Thank
can
you.
you hear me now?
There you go.
Much better.
There we go. You just want to see my face, Lucas.
We do.
No, so I think many scenes and many locations in the film lent itself to some changes. But when we found this location for the retreat itself, it was just a perfect match, and it hauntingly brought out everything that I hoped. Thank the Etra family who allowed us to film it. So I just wanted to shout them out. Thank you so much. It's literally the perfect backdrop.
I think also I just want to jump on that and add that a lot of us stayed at the house together, so it became
It was like
this
summer
thing
camp.
of, like summer camp with like exactly it became summer camp. So you sort of like film all day, and that's sort of stressful and hard and exciting, and then at night you would just chill with whatever people would be into drinking or whatever, and have a meal together, and gradually sort of wind down or laugh about things that went wrong or chat about things that went right, and then the next morning you would see Joe come down in his boxers scratching his butt in the kitchen and get coffee together and all that stuff. So it was really being on a fantastic field trip with creatives and great souls, and then trying to create something together. So yeah, it definitely had that vibe.
I mean, there was something really interesting about like being in your room and you wake up in the morning. They're like, okay, you have like an hour and we're set up lights in your room to shoot in your room for it to be your room.
I got lucky 2 times in my life, and I know this doesn't happen often, to do that with Pitchfork Retreat, living in the space, and then Stream, where we lived in that hotel, where it's something special about rolling out of bed and opening your door and set is right there. And, and the light, you could leave on the crew end of it, you could leave the lights up. You have your own, if you have a room, like especially with the hotel. And I think each of these rooms had their own bathrooms too, actually. Mm-hmm. So you have your own private bathroom, you have your own space. So, that was a really great experience. So I think I'm going to be looking for that going forward on every project.
Absolutely.
Because it definitely made it less stressful for sure.
I feel like the retreat location really relied heavily on mood. What were your biggest tools for creating that atmosphere there? Some behind the scenes.
So I want to shout out Steven Zalasala, who's not with us tonight. But Mike, I think you can talk most about your partner, right, Steve, and what he was able to do and what you guys planned together in terms of accomplishing that goal.
What was the question you said? What was, and I know what I want to say, what you're saying
Creating
about
the
Steve.
atmosphere.
Yeah. So I know Steve also, for each of the stories that the writers are telling, we use different lenses for sure that had, different glass. So this way they all kind of had their different feel. That was, I know, really important with Steve. There was also a lot of mirroring certain shots. Particularly, I know we used a lot of mirror shots in Lucas, in Lucas's story for reasons that you'll discover when the film comes out. With Danielle's stuff, I know we started really, really wide, and we short-sighted a lot that usually you don't do to kind of show something's off. And as we got closer and closer, like she got shorter and shorter to the edge of the frame, which again is not something normally you would do. So there was a lot of tricks that Steve really did to kind of pull your story together and make it visually compelling and, different and beautiful. And I was really, happy to see how that all, came together for sure. And obviously the way he lit the retreat was different from the stories as well. And that was a whole different, we went anamorphic with that. So, there was a lot of thought process that I know that Steve and Greg and Nicole and myself, that we all kind of went in with, because again, it's not like you're just shooting one movie, you're almost shooting 5 different movies or 4 different movies, the wraparound and then the 3 stories. And you can kind of get creative with it all, but still feel like the same movie. So that's also what makes it, because you can't just, you can, but then it just is like a mishmash if this doesn't work. So fortunately, they're all unique, but I think it all blends together nicely that it is one solid feature film.
Agreed.
I agree. Oh, go ahead, Greg. No, I just wanted to compliment and say, just as someone watching it, I thought you guys did a great job of blending everything together cinematically. Actually, pinged De La Salle last night as I was watching it. I was like, dude, this is beautiful. I haven't seen him do something like this. It was different. It was very
Again, don't raise it too much. Keep the rates down.
it was very specific and thoughtful, the shots. I've seen his work on all the other films, and this was different. It felt different. It made me excited for him, outside of being excited for you guys. But of course, like, he can't take a compliment. He's like, oh, this is this. I'm like, it's beautiful. But he's like, I'm so happy with how it turned out, Was there any more inspiration behind this film for you guys that helped define the look of the film, whether it's visual influences or other films, other locations, artwork? I felt like everything was so well thought out. The stories within the stories, in addition to the main location. How did you just lay all this out the way that you did?
I mean, I'm a horror fan at heart, right? So I've just been influenced by every decade of horror throughout, and I kind of wanted to lean into different decades and different styles and different colors for each one of those vignettes, and wrap it around in the retreat. And I wanted to also bring Billy on, because as post-production supervisor for everything that Mike and Steve did in pre-production and production, Billy then was able to take it another notch in post. And he brought some really incredible people along who had some ideas and their own thoughts, and again, collaborative. I think A Village was the creator of this, and I think Billy can talk a little bit about what he was able to accomplish in post with his team.
Yeah, Billy, let's ping over to you, because your editing in this film really does stand out. The transitions, the pacing, the tone, everything complemented the story and just helped enhance it and bring it all together. I'm assuming that you worked closely with Greg and Nicole on this in post-production to blend it all together, but what was that creative collaboration like for you? And just tell us a little bit about what's inside your head, because you did some really cool stuff.
Thanks. Well, I met Greg. So Greg and I connected because we both had films playing at the Peekskill Film Festival. Split Second played there, and then a film I did played there, which is where I live.
Shout it out, Billy.
Shout it out?
Yeah.
What?
Your film.
No, not right now. I'm done.
Come on.
But Greg lives like 10 minutes, 15 minutes away. So it was nice and close by. And he's able to come over here a lot. And, one of my buddies who's an editor as well, he put it this way. He said, a good editor is a good hang, and I think that goes both ways. And Greg is just a great hang. A lot of the time editing is really just talking, right? Usually I'm not facing the computer. Usually I'm facing Greg or Nicole, whoever's here, just talking about, just the story, really. And, a lot of times I'm kind of like, well, you don't have to watch me edit, because I'm just going to be here facing this way. You could be here if you want, but let's talk it out. And then, I'll be off and running when you're not here, and I'm not really engaging. But it's a great collaboration. Greg was very open to trying new things and getting a little weird with certain edits, and all in service of the story and the different stories. And again, I don't want, I'm almost saying stuff about the third act, but the third act is just a really awesome. It really pushed me as an editor and as, not just technically, but, as a storyteller. And I, again, can't say much about it, but it's really cool, really different. And everything came together with that. Like every post team between visual effects, color, sound, it all needed to come together to really bring the film home.
And I think, when I think about the characters in the story and that the blend of Greg's writing and Billy's editing, and of course, pairing it with the directing and the incredible actors, I think of all the characters as we're all sort of, and people too, were these kind of like these stereograms, where we're just like the surface pattern that we see when we shake someone's hand. When we introduce ourselves, what we see is just that initial pattern. That's the automatic thing that our eyes see. But with what Greg wrote and what Billy edited, you get to tunnel into this three-dimensional image that's nestled inside that pattern, and it's very messy, and you get that 360 vision. So I think Billy's beautiful technique to take Greg's creation gave us that very rich stereogram journey. So it was beautiful to see him at work, and to see the film shape into that, and to see like that three-dimensional honest identity come through with all that work. So
Mm-hmm. And really,
I just want to add to that real quick as well, is that a part of this experience that was very unusual is that we had these sort of 3 stories that we had sort of shot at a separate time almost, and then there was a gap in time, and then we came together to shoot the wraparound story in a way. So we knew a lot that sometimes on sets you don't really get to see what has been shot before. You're just sort of going with what you know about your character from your script, and you're sort of sticking to that. But we had a little bit of perspective on it coming back in as actors for the wraparound story. So I think it was just a really interesting knowledge to have that was different to anything else I've done before.
Mm-hmm. We also have 3 questions that just came across here. Let me get and bring these up here real quick. Was the cross intended to be the Christian symbolism, redemption, rebirth, retribution, etc.?
It's a great question, Gabe. So again, I don't want to go too in depth. That's a super important symbol in the film, but I can answer by saying yes.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to give too much away, but I feel like there was a lot of symbolism. I even was like watching it, wondering, is there Greek mythology wrapped up in here to some extent? There's so much. It really does go that deep. We do have some still shots that we'd love to throw up and have you guys.
2 more questions.
Okay.
Yeah, this one here was a partial, and then he came back with the second part of it. So it's to the writer a question: since every story has a moral or teaching, what is the moral that can be taken from this movie?
Again, don't want to go too in depth, but I think everybody has layers, and I think the more we peel back, the more we worry about what people can see. And so there's who we portray to everybody else, and then there's also who we portray to ourselves, and then there's our true self. And I think I get a little too far here, but what happened? The question I think that's at the core of this film is what happens to the secrets that we take to our graves. And I think that is something that my hope is when people walk away from the film, that's something they start thinking about. What are my secrets? What am I taking to my grave? And what will happen to me if I don't evolve these secrets, right?
Very cool. I have
Lucas
another
is laughing
question
because I'm giving away.
Another question here looks like it's directed towards Mike. Did Billy also edit the Leprechaun Revenge shortly? If he did, I think I remember his name in the credits. If so, it was fantastic.
He did.
Wow.
He did.
I have a fan. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Well, I have a feeling you're going to be getting a lot of messages.
No, Billy did a
more
great
fan
job
than I
with
am.
that. Billy did a great job, yeah.
We do have some picks as we're getting close to the end here, so let me bring them up one at a time, and you can let us know a little bit about them. First one. That was a fun pick.
Boomer. So this incredibly interesting actor and amazing person is somebody who both Mike and I had filmed with previously. This character is really cool. I can't wait for people to check him out. And this scene was something that Nikki and I worked on a bit, and this was actually her brainchild. And it's actually top 3 scenes in this film for me. It's really you'll have a jump scare here.
I just want to say that I can hear this scene right now when I look at it. I can hear it because I personally am a weirdo, and I love hearing specific like sounds in horror films, and I can hear this. I think the audience is going to enjoy this part for sure.
Agreed. So Mike is telling me how much he. Oh no, I'm sorry. Steve was telling me how much he ate earlier and how upset he was because he didn't hit his strap on there. But no, this is Steve schooling me on something that we're going to be shooting that day.
Gotcha.
That night.
That night.
Great shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that is a great shot.
This says it all. Tony in his domain, and that's one of my favorite pictures.
And notice the rat on his shoulder, please.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He'd love that rat.
That rat was Tony's idea. So I'm really
Fantastic.
glad we were able to make that happen for him. I think it was
That rat was named Rathu or something.
Matthew. Correct. Beatrice, shout out to Beatrice.
Yes.
Who did,
Yes.
Special effects for us. That is her rat, and Tony had asked for the rat, and I remember she had them. I said, Beatrice, can you bring your rat tomorrow to set?
Yes.
Sure. So shout out to you. That was that was very special to Tony.
Very cool.
There we are in the boats.
2
boats and a canoe, we call it.
2 boats in the canoe. Okay.
This was
There's Boomer.
And there is my good friend Tara Westwood that I've worked with together with her before, and was happy to be able to work with her on Split Second. She's a great actress.
Lucas helped bring her on here.
There's the mother's,
yes.
the mother's son,
The beautiful Danielle.
Yes.
It's Wesley Holloway there.
Yeah, Mike, shout him out.
Any Stream fans, that's
Yes.
Danielle's son in the movie Stream, and she got to
Yeah.
rework with him again in this film.
Very cool.
Yeah.
A fan.
Oh.
So I want to talk about some people here. That smiling face in the center there is the angelic, the most amazingly warm Dee Wallace. Who,
Yes.
without her, Danielle would not be here. So I have to thank Dee every day for so many reasons for Danielle. But oh my God, to have Dee Wallace in your film, to have her on set, to have her as a friend, incredible. And
Incredible.
that there, it feels like family, right? So. It is. That's actually my daughter, Madison, who has a huge role in the film as well. And I'm so proud of her. That's so sweet. You know, as a father and a family person, to be able to work with my daughter, my sister, my son, my mom, to dedicate this film to my father, who we lost recently. You know, this is just so special, and this is something I'll take with me to my grave. Just such a special experience. And that picture is just so meaningful to me.
Well, congratulations to your daughter, because she did a wonderful job in the film. She really did.
Yeah, she did.
Thank you.
There they are.
Here we are. The double V's.
Mhm.
You know, my first best friend right there. So
Oh. That's a nice picture.
much of the team.
Ah, yes. I love this picture.
They left me locked in the basement this day.
Oh, yeah. There they are. Yeah.
Tony at the
Amazing.
table. Tony at
Yep.
the head of the table.
Mm-hmm.
So demanding in this role.
So yeah, absolutely.
And so humble and just a man of class and just such a warm soul, really. Just beautiful.
Somebody asked, would you ever make another movie like this?
We have ideas for the sequel and the franchise, so we're excited. We're absolutely excited to see what other layers we can unravel.
Well, we have just 2 minutes left. We want to start wrapping things up. Is there anything that you guys can share as to what is in the future, what is next, whether it's together, if it's individually? Let's just kind of go around the room. Lucas, let us know what you got going on coming up and where everybody can find you on socials to connect.
Right. So Lucas Haslam on Instagram. I have a website for that as well. Right now, just about a month ago, my own feature film came out called House of Abraham, a dark psychological horror. So please go support Indie Movie with Natasha Henstridge, Lynn Shea, and myself. Very proud of it. And I have I wrote directed a short horror film that's going around the festival circuit right now. I'm heading to Florida for a couple of festivals next month and stuff called Up Close. So yeah, and got a couple of exciting acting gigs coming up. So grateful.
Greg, go ahead.
Yep. So we're making our way to a bunch of cities with this film, and hopefully looking to release later in the year. and working on the franchise and some other projects that I've got in mind. One actually was spawned by a conversation I had with Danielle, and I can't wait to talk about this with you, Danielle. When we'll be in Austin together later on this month, I just wanted to shout out Danielle because she is nominated for Best Actress in this film at that festival. So I'm excited to see you coming up, Danielle, and very much deserved. So I'm excited. But yeah, there was a conversation you and I had in the car on the way to the airport after shooting.
You drove me. That was so crazy. I mean, we wrapped in the middle of the night, and 2 hours later, you got up and drove me an hour and a half to the airport.
And the second I got back, we started filming all the way through the night.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I remember that. That was wild.
I was like, "What are you doing, picking me up? Don't you have someone that can come take me?" But I think your mom picked me up from the airport, and we drove to set.
Yes.
And I think we almost got lost, or it was raining, or something was going on. I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna get here." But she made a lasagna, I think, once we got there or something. Remember some food your mom brought to set or something, and made it all better.
Wow.
All right. And Danielle, what about you?
Oh gosh. I'm taking, so I've got a bunch of things, whatever on the books for the year. Until I'm on set, I never know what's going to happen. So I'm got my fingers and toes crossed. There's one in particular that I cannot talk about yet, and I hate when people do that, but hopefully we are filming in the spring, and it's been a while. It's been over a decade that I've been waiting to get back to this this little world. So I'm excited to see if that happens. And I'm working on a memoir that I've been working on for the last 2 years, and a documentary, and just being home and being a mom, and living a little normal for a minute until I get my hands into something else, which I've already contacted Mike about doing something else. So I can only stay. Every year I'm like, I'm just going to take the year just to kind of do my own thing, and then I don't stop working. So we'll see what happens. But yes, Austin, these guys are coming to town in a few weeks, and everyone's going to come over to my house, and I'm making meatballs and pizza, and we're going to hang out and celebrate this movie together.
Can I just say congrats to you, Danielle, on your feature that I saw at New York Horror as well.
Thank you.
Hotel was amazing. Super wonderful film. So well done.
Thank you so much. Last Chance Motel, Heather Langenkamp, and Scout Compton, and yeah, we've got hopefully that will make its rounds come spring as well.
Really awesome. I was it was a pleasure to be there for that opening night, and oh my God, what a film, guys. I can't wait for everybody to see that. That's such an amazing wild ride. Amazing performance. Well done, Danielle.
Thank you.
And what about you, Levy? I know you're busy with Stream 2. What else you got going on?
Yeah, said to Danielle again, great. Love the movie as well. And Heather Langenkamp, everyone, be on the lookout. Wow. She was fantastic.
Yeah,
and check out Lucas's movie. It's very, very good. A really wonderful film with himself, Lynn Shay, the one you just mentioned. Really loved it. Stream 2, working on that, obviously. Terrifier 4 is also happening. There's like 3 or 4 other projects that we committed to that, again, I'm doing the same thing that Danielle just did, where we can't yet talk about it, but very soon they'll start coming out. And then it's just, again, navigating, and also the stuff that we discussed, Danielle. And then, the things that come up that you don't realize, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of shooting, you're saying, where did this come from?
Right.
You know that.
Yeah. So there's a bunch happening, and I'm still going to throw my pitch in since someone's mentioned it. If anybody wants to call me for the Leprechaun movie, I'm here to do it. I'd love to do it.
Here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. And what about you, Joseph? What do you got going on?
I'm in an episode of Wonder Man coming out on
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
This
All
month,
right.
for Marvel show. So
Nice.
I can't talk about what I played on it, but yeah, please watch because it'll be good. And then I'm looking to direct my film this year, so we're putting that together. So
nice.
That's up to too. And that's a couple other projects, same as everybody else, man.
Your film, what genre is it?
My film, dark
Yes.
comedy, Silver Lining Playbook-ish kind of movie.
All right, love that.
Nice.
Love that. And Nicole?
Same as what Greg was saying, the exploring, expanding the world of the Pitchfork Retreat, seeing where we will take where this next journey will take us. And I guess I have to stay a little bit tight-lipped as well, but just seeing what we're going to dive into next.
And in addition to being an actress, Nikki also is writing a book. So I'm excited to for that to be published and out. So
yeah.
And last but not least, Billy, what do you got going on?
Well, we're going to be making some little tweaks to Pitchfork. I had everyone over. Was that last week? 2 weeks ago, Greg?
Yep.
Greg and Mike. We all watched it and put our heads together about some stuff that we want to just tweak a little bit. But other than that, I edit day by day, so I've got a bunch of stuff going on. Nothing super exciting, but I do have a short film that just wrapped a festival run at I think the last one I played was Smodcastle Horror. So I'm looking at releasing that online, and that's actually part of an anthology film about fatherhood that I'm doing with a couple other producers, another couple short films that we're putting together.
I also, it's so funny. I have a documentary. Do you get my email? Do you get my email today?
I got your email, but I was yes.
I appreciate my documentary too. That I want Billy to do a pass.
Yeah. I'm going to contact you for sure. Yeah.
Well, we can't thank you guys enough for coming on tonight. Just to have you here has been such a pleasure, such a treat. And we're so excited for the Pitchfork Retreat. We can't wait for everyone to see this. Congratulations on the success it's holding so far as it's finishing its rounds on the film festival circuit. You guys have something really amazing here. Congratulations to each and every one of you. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Rick and Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you for having amazing hosts, amazing support. Thank you, always.
Well, we're happy to be a part of the journey with you guys. We're going to kick you backstage for just a second to give you a proper goodbye. And we just want to say good night to our junkies. Thank you so much for watching another incredible week of anything and everything indie horror. If you like what we're doing and you want to support, hop on YouTube, like, subscribe. Hit us up on our email, our socials, check out the website or the magazine, support indie horror and all these amazing creatives behind this work. We will see you next Wednesday. Good night, Running Ricky.
Good night.